Phase 2 for Mists of Pandaria has just been announced, and it's nowhere near as far off as you may be expecting. On the 23rd of September, which is only a matter of weeks away, we're going to have Phase 2. Now, Phase 2 brings no additional group PvE content outside of scenarios, but who does scenarios? But it does bring some nice single-player content, some PvP content, some nice changes from Blizzard in terms of item upgrades, and it's actually a really good one, as well as some reputation bonuses to make that quicker, and the biggest one is, of course, being able to level characters quicker. Now, I mentioned this in a previous video, and I didn't plan on doing a video about the PTR for a couple of days, but on the basis that they have actually announced it today, I thought, well, let's just dive in and we'll go through everything that you need to know. Before we do that, though, be sure to like and subscribe. Hop on over to kick.com/Scottejaye if you want to see me stream. I stream pretty much every night, and I'll be streaming tonight till very, very, very early hours of the morning because I'll be doing a 25-man, so come and say hello. But moving on, Landfall, which is Phase 2, is kind of a filler phase. We're going to get Brawlers Guild, which I will be putting Brawlers Guild guides out, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss those. It's basically a single-player PvE boss fight, kind of 1v1, which increases in difficulty the further through the ranks you get. Now, it's purely optional to be able to do, and to get an invitation to actually partake, you'll be bidding against other players on the black market auction house. There is other ways to get in, however. The rares in Crasserang Wilds have got a chance at dropping an invite, as well as people that you know who get in. When they reach a higher rank, they'll be able to send you an invite as well, but just a one-off. There really is no PvE benefit to this whatsoever, so if you're raiding and thinking, oh, it's something else I need to do, you don't. You can get an heirloom fist weapon, there's a ring which is pretty rubbish anyway. Overall, you're just not going to need to worry about it unless you like that sort of single-player kind of difficult content, and I do use the word difficult very, very loosely. Now, as I say, there is 5 new scenarios as well, and I don't know about you, but I literally haven't stepped foot in any scenario outside of like Arena of Annihilation in the first couple of days of launch, so not something I'm going to rush into, but at some point I probably will smash through all the scenarios, probably when we get heroic scenarios where you actually start getting like reasonable catch-up gear for ults and stuff like that from them. But at the moment, when it's just the normal scenarios, like, they're there. If you want to go and do them, go and do them. Of course, the legendary questline continues on in Landfall as well, so you've got a few weeks to basically get to the point where you get your Shard Touch gem to put in your Shard Touch weapon, and then you'll be sat with a quest called Incoming, where you're basically just waiting for Phase 2. But when Phase 2 starts, it's only a short section, but this is actually going to give you an extra socket, so this is quite a good part of the quest line as well, because when you actually do this short part, because it is just a short part, you're going to get the ability to add a socket to any Shard Touch weapon, so it's basically another, let's say, 160 of a main stat, so pretty good. But the main part of the quest line really is just to hit Revered with Black Prince, which that's not going to take very long at all. You're going to have to win a Temple of Kot Mogu and a Silver Shard Mine, so you will actually have to do a little bit of PvP. And quite honestly, that's about it. The most annoying part is the fact that you need to earn 3,000 Valor, so that part alone is going to take a couple of weeks to do, and then you've got some like PvP-esque objectives around Crasserang, but it's all very straightforward, don't really need to go too much into detail. Now, I mentioned it in the video that I posted quite literally a couple of hours ago, but they're also boosting the experience bonus that you get from the old guild perk that just everybody gets now, from 10% to 65%, so that is a significant jump, and they've said in a developer update recently that it basically means that it will be the same as leveling with 5.3 XP rates. I'll say what I said in the last video here. I'm hoping that we still get post 5.3 XP rates much further down the line, maybe when Siege of Orgrimmar launches. So we'll have the 65% and 5.3 XP values, just really, really making leveling an absolute breeze. And obviously, once we're in Siege of Orgrimmar, no one wants to take too long to level anyway, so again, something that we'll worry about much further down the line. But that is good news overall, because quite honestly, the leveling is probably the worst thing about Mists of Pandaria right now. They've also added to the Black Talon Quartermaster a Grand Commendation for the Black Prince as well, which is really good. So when you're leveling ults and you're working on the legendary quest line and you're then going in and smashing Celestials to get your Sigils of Power and Sigils of Wisdom, and the thing that's like taking the time is actually getting the Black Prince rep, especially when we get through the quest line where you need Revered, you then need Exalted. You know, this is just going to speed that up, so buy it once, forget about it. They've also added like a whole PvP section to the group finder where, you know, with full sort of cross-server support, so if you're massively into PvP and PvPing with people not on your realm, which, I'll be honest, for me personally, as someone streaming over on Kick, I'll plug it again. Actually being able to find groups really quickly using this is not a bad thing. If you're pushing for Gladiator, they've also changed the ladder bracket to award its own set of achievements now. So if you're a Malevolent Gladiator in 3v3 and 2v2, you'll get 2 sets of achievements now rather than just 1. So that's good for you if you PvP. And then the big one, the one that I'm really intrigued with, is the gear upgrades, because they changed it where it was Valor points, and it really made upgrading gear not only slow, but also you really had to think about what you was upgrading, and you wouldn't just upgrade something that wasn't BIS, because it's ultimately a waste of Valor. Well, now they've changed it to Justice points. So each PvE epic piece can be upgraded by 8 item levels. So that's 4 item levels per upgrade, and you can upgrade it twice, obviously. So now this costs 1,000 Justice points where it was 250 Valor. So now just farming out Justice points in Celestial dungeons, you'll upgrade all your gear, any piece of gear, like you just won't care, which I think is actually really good. And they've also added a way to be able to convert Valor into Justice at a rate of 1:4 using a new commendation of Justice. Now you can buy this at Nizuel Temple, where you've got the 2 vendors, and this will allow you to swap 125 Valor for 550 Justice after the 10% Justice increase. So not only are you going to have something to spend your Valor on now anyway, because you can convert it to Justice and then upgrade, but if you want to save your Valor for any reason, for other things, for items that you want to get from reputations or whatever, you can now just grind out Justice points instead and upgrade your gear. I'm telling you now, on launch day of this, those Celestial dungeons are just going to get some right hammer, because everybody's going to want to upgrade their gear as fast as possible before they step foot in the next raid. And when I say next raid, I don't mean Throne of Thunder, by the way. I mean, like, as in the next raid night doing MSV, Hoth and Terrace. For dungeon gear, the rare dungeon gear, it's 750 Justice points, but you just upgrade it once and it goes up to 471. The same with, like, the archaeology items as well. So if you've got, like, the Spear of Zuen or BG's Umbrella or whatever it's called, you can use 750 Justice to upgrade that 8 item levels all in one go, and yeah, it'll be 471. For PvP gear, you can now upgrade it with just Honor as well, where it was 750 Conquest. Now you can do 4 item levels again in 2 upgrades for 1,000 Honor each. Something else that I really like, because grinding out Conquest points to then upgrade the Conquest gear, if you're trying to catch up on PvP, you need the Conquest to buy the gear. You're not going to then want to spend the Conquest on upgrading the gear, or it might take a long time before you get to the point where you can do that. So at least now you can do arenas and RBGs and that to get your Conquest, to buy your gear, and then spam other random battlegrounds to then be able to upgrade your gear. For the PvP rare gear, so the blue PvP set, you can upgrade it by 8 item levels for 750 Honor. Now they're also adding the HD textures to MoP. I'll be honest with you, I didn't even know it wasn't there. That's how much attention I actually pay to the graphics. But they've said you can kick your graphics up a notch just like they did in Cataclysm Classic. The Landfall content update will also include a way to turn on high definition textures. To be honest with you, like I say, it's not really something that I've paid much attention to. But overall, with Landfall, I'd say big wins all round. The reputation for Black Prince, the upgrade system is going to be amazing, especially like how quick you can actually get Justice points from spamming Celestials anyway, and then being able to swap your Valor for Justice points. I think it's really good. The one thing I'd like to know is, are they going away when Throne of Thunder turns up? Because that's what happened originally. Obviously, the whole point of the upgrade system was to kind of be a soft nerf to the Phase 1 raids. So when Throne of Thunder comes out, actually the upgrade vendors should disappear. But maybe this time round they do something different, I don't know. But that's sort of how it was originally. And again, the upgrade system is a way of soft nerfing the current content. So we'll have to just wait and see with that. But yeah, overall, big hype. Landfall's coming. Again, there's no raids, so there's nothing to get too excited about. But if you're like me and you like getting higher item level, doing more damage, getting 8 item level upgrades on every piece of gear is going to be pretty sick, and it's not going to be that far away, so it's not going to be long. You'll get Terrace on farm, you'll get a few bits of BIS gear from there probably, and by then Landfall comes, you can start upgrading it. So happy days. If you enjoyed the video, as always, be sure to like and subscribe. Like I said, come check me out over on Kick, and I'll see you on the next one.